react to the most loved versus most hated twist villains. But to find out, like, subscribe, and hit that poll notification.
Every twist villain who's loved by a whole generation of moviegoers, there's someone who became
Are they
hated by
really
just as
loved?
many people. A twist so
Or
lame, so predictable,
are they
or so
really just
poorly
hated?
motivated that it makes you groan instead of
I
gasp.
don't
So
really
today,
know if
we're going
people
through the
really
most
love
loved
the,
versus the most
villain.
hated twist villains.
But I want to see the most hated people.
I'll tell you what's not fair.
If only there was someone out there who loved you.
I'll just crash, waiting to be thrown away.
Let's kick
That
things
would
off with a
mess up
villain
right
so smooth, so charismatic, and so utterly vile that he
Coco?
instantly became a legend.
Oh,
I am, of
Coco?
course,
What do you
talking
mean?
about the one, the only, Ernesto de la Cruz from
Ernesto?
Pixar's masterpiece, Coco. In the world of the living, he's Mexico's most beloved musician, a movie star, a symbol of
Start
national
off, you
pride.
love
His
it.
motto,
Then
"Seize your
start off
moment,"
being
is the
hated.
very inspiration that drives our hero, Miguel, to follow his musical dreams. In the land of the dead, he's even
now
bigger,
I get
living
it.
in a massive mansion, throwing the most exclusive parties, and putting on spectacular shows.
I
Miguel spends
remember
the first
seeing that.
half of the movie literally journeying through the afterlife just to meet his hero, the man he believes is his great-great-grandfather. And when he finally does, it's
Great-great-grandfather?
everything he dreamed of. Ernesto saves him from
Dream
falling
of.
into a pool. He's charming, he's supportive, he even
Charming.
agrees to give
It's your
Miguel
boy.
his blessing to return home. We,
Lying
the
on
audience,
Miguel.
are right there with Miguel thinking, this guy is awesome. We're ready for the heartwarming family reunion. And then the truth comes out.
Yeah.
And oh my goodness, what a truth it is. It
What?
starts when Hector, Miguel's he points, suddenly has met a child who idolized him mere minutes ago,
soul.
thrown
He had
into a
no
cenote
soul
pit to be forgotten
in
forever.
you.
His only concern is protecting his fame, his moment, and his downfall is just chef's kiss perfect.
He had no soul in him. His soul is an empty box that had nothing to feel. Or he had no remorse or no regret on anything he done.
Having his crimes broadcast to the entire land of the dead, being booed off stage
Have
by his adoring
broadcast?
fans, and then being crushed by a giant bell, the exact same way he died the first time.
She became the hated one with close toward the end where nobody saw her. Everybody thought she was the loved one. Like nobody ever in the whole movie ever thought that she would actually been the villain. Like nobody ever thought she was the one who actually sabotaged this everything. Like all the mystery and plan y'all saw, it was because of her. Not because the chief. No, she got the chief fired. Then she got the I think it was the tiger or something from a receptionist fired. Like she did everything planned from start to finish, and she had everything planned out perfect.
It is a fantastic movie with a really important
It was
message, but its
fantastic.
twist villain? When we
But
first
the
meet Bellwether,
twisted
she's
villain,
the epitome
she
of sympathy.
made
She's a
so
tiny, fluffy sheep in a
good.
world run
Like
by
she-
big,
a
intimidating
smaller
predators.
sheep?
Her
No
boss,
one
Mayor
even
Lionheart,
think a
is constantly
sheep
dismissing
would have
her,
been a
using her
villain.
for photo ops,
Nobody
and
would ever
basically
thought she
treating
would
her
be a
like a
villain.
glorified
They
secretary.
always thought
She's
the mayor was
overworked,
villain 'cause
underappreciated, and just plain
he
put
lying.
upon. When she helps Judy Hopps, our hero, she seems like a genuine ally, a fellow little guy trying to
told
make it in a
y'all.
big city. You're rooting for
Yeah.
her. The twist, of course, is that this meek
Everybody
little
started
sheep is
rooting for
actually
her.
the criminal mastermind behind the whole
But she was
conspiracy.
the
She's been
criminal
using a drug
mastermind
made from
of
night
the
howler
whole
flowers to make
movie.
predators go savage,
No matter
hoping to stir up
who
fear and
y'all
seize
thought
power
was,
for the prey
she was the one
population,
who did
with herself at the
everything.
top. On
And
paper,
nobody
it's a
even
classic
noticed
wolf in
it was her.
sheep's clothing.
Too good to be true. Like someone who actually be so too nice. Like if you way too nice in a movie or a TV show, it's obvious that you're the villain. Cause nobody would be that nice. Like yeah, you can be nice, but when you over nice, when you so much to a point where you're so nice that people are gonna realize, hold up, there's something off about you.
Well-worn trope, but the bigger issue, her motivation, and the fear
Oh,
always works, and I'll dart every
altogether,
predator
that
in
she didn't
Zootopia
want
to keep
nobody
it that
to
way.
know.
It lacks the chilling personal evil of an Ernesto or a Lotso. It just feels generic. She had the potential to be an incredible, thought-provoking antagonist, but in the end, she was just a
didn't.
bit of a bad guy. Alright, let's talk about the most creative, most
The
unsettling,
most
and most
creative
brilliantly
one.
conceived
This
twist
is
villains of the
most
ruler of
creative.
classic
When
comedic
the
relief.
fight
It makes
he
him
did
seem
what he
like a
did. 'Cause he
responsible
didn't want
leader, making making a tough choice for the greater good. But as the movie goes on, little cracks start to show in his candy-coated exterior. He gets a little too angry, a little too desperate to keep Vanellope out of the race. And then, during the final race, as he's trying to ram Vanellope off the track, she glitches through him, and for a split second, his code flickers. His goofy king persona vanishes, replaced by a ghoulish figure with greyish skin and...
King wasn't really trying to, like, actually become a villain. The only thing he was actually trying to do is save the game. That's all the whole process, twist of the whole thing is. He was trying to save the game because he didn't want the game to get unplugged and go on like his game was. That's all happened. But the way he took it was too far. That's it. He took it way too far, and he tried to kill Penelope because he assumed that if people start seeing Penelope race and Penelope get locked onto the game, people are gonna think the game is broken, and they will have to unplug the game, and everybody, and not everybody, but she will be stuck in the game and gone forever. And he was just trying to protect her, save her, and protect the game so the game won't get unplugged. But the way he did it was out of hand. So, like, he did it to a point where it made sense why he did it, but then it, like, you came off and ended up doing it all wrong, and you didn't do it the way you actually attempt to do it.
Yellow eyes, and the audience, along with Ralph, realizes he isn't King Candy. He's Turbo. He was the star of the most... A verb, even. To go turbo means to game jump and mess with the code. Finding out that the goofy king of Sugar Rush is actually this infamous game-destroying virus is an all-time great twist. What makes him so beloved is how he evolves as a threat. First, he's a political manipulator, turning an entire kingdom against an innocent little girl. Then, as Turbo, he's a physically violent threat, a desperate racer, willing to kill to keep his stolen throne. And finally, after being eaten by a cybug, he becomes a monstrous godlike virus, a horrifying fusion of his own code and the bugs, threatening to take over the entire arcade. He's creepy, he's creative, and the twist reveal is so flawlessly executed that he has more than earned his spot in the villain Hall of Fame. We now turn to a villain whose twist, while shocking, arguably strips him of all his character. Yes, it's time to talk about the man who broke Anna's heart, and the hearts of audiences everywhere. Prince Hans of the Southern Isles from Frozen. For the first two-thirds of this movie, Hans is perfect, almost too perfect. He's the dashing prince from a neighboring kingdom who literally bumps into the lonely, awkward Princess Anna. He doesn't love. Love is an open door, is a whirlwind romance condensed into 3 minutes, and it's so catchy and sweet that you can't help but root for them. He seems like the answer to all of Anna's dreams, a man who will finally see her and never shut her out. When he stays behind to run Arendelle while Anna goes after Elsa, he seems noble and capable, handing out cloaks and soup to the freezing citizens. He's the ideal hero, and that's what makes the twist so unbelievably brutal. Anna, her heart accidentally frozen by Elsa, stumbles back to Arendelle, believing that an act of true love, a kiss from Hans, is the only thing that can save her. She confesses her love. She pleads for him to kiss her, and he just leans back and says, Anna, if only there was someone out there who loved you. Gut punch. He reveals his whole plan. He was just pretending to love her so he could marry her, arrange a little accident for Elsa, and become king of Arendelle. He blows out the candle, locks the door, and leaves.
I actually forgot. I forgot he married her just to become king. I didn't even realize that. I forgot. Alright? Now, I never even seen Frozen 2, so I don't know what happened in Frozen 2. I don't even want to see Frozen ever again. Like, too much singing in Frozen. Way too much singing. It just bore me out nowadays. Like, I seen Frozen like 2 or 3 times, but just what Frozen 2, I can't do that. Like, I love Frozen. It's not a bad movie, but too much singing. Way too much singing.
Her to. He goes from being Prince Charming to generic evil guy with the flip of a switch. His motivation, being ignored by his 12 older brothers, is mentioned once and then forgotten. It's a flimsy excuse for a scheme that involves manipulation, attempted murder, and usurpation. He exists solely to teach Anna and the audience a lesson about falling in love too fast. And while it's an important lesson, it comes at the cost of what could have been a truly complex and fascinating antagonist. Instead, we just got a handsome jerk. Let's get back to a villain whose complexity is the reason we love him so much. A villain who is both heartbreakingly tragic and monstrously evil. Lotso Huggin' Bear from Toy Story 3. When Andy's toys first, there will always be children to play with them. He seems to understand their fears and offers them the perfect solution. He even gives Buzz Lightyear a big hug.
The little girl fell asleep. I think it was at the park or beach. She fell asleep, right? And the parent put her in that car, went home, and she left Lotso and the baby, and I think it was the clown. Yeah, the clown. She left all three of them at the beach or park. And then after a week or a month went by, she never even thought anything about Lotso and the baby and the clown. And then she going, right, a couple months later at Christmas, she going and replace Lotso, the baby, and the clown with brand new clown baby and Lotso, and turn Lotso into a villain because it broke Lotso. It broke him inside to a point where he felt like humans is nothing. Humans are trash because all they're gonna do is play with you for a month or a week or so, and then leave you and then replace you with new toys that look like you in a mere second. That's how villain.
It's a toy prison, and Lotso is its ruthless dictator. He assigns our beloved characters to the caterpillar room, where they are abused and broken by toddlers, while he and his inner circle live in luxury in the butterfly room. When Buzz tries to reason with him, Lotso has Buzz forcibly reset to his factory demo mode, turning him into a brainwashed enforcer. The twist reveal of his true nature is chilling, but what makes Lotso an S-tier villain is his backstory. We learn from a broken-hearted clown named Chuckles that Lotso wasn't always this way. He was once the favorite toy of a little girl named Daisy, but one day they were accidentally left behind. Lotso did only to look through the window and see that he had been and that makes his actions all the more heinous. The climax at the garbage dump where the toys save him and he has the chance to return the favor pressing the emergency stop button for the incinerator, but instead gives them a sneering grin and walks away, leaving them to die. It is one of the single most evil, most unforgettable moments in Pixar history. He is a tragic, complex, and utterly despicable villain, and we love him for it. Now we move from one tragic villain to another, but this one landed very differently with audiences. Yokai, aka Professor Robert Callahan from Big Hero 6. Professor Callahan is introduced as the quintessential cool teacher. He's a brilliant roboticist, a pioneer in his field, and the head of the prestigious San Francisco Institute of Technology. He's the mentor of our Hero's older brother, Tadashi. When Hero Callahan is encouraging and gently nudging the young genius away from illegal bot fighting and towards and both of them are killed in the resulting explosion. The twist, as you know, is that Callahan didn't die. He used Hero's microbots to shield himself from the fire, faked his death, and stole the technology. He is Yokai, the mysterious masked villain Hero, and his friends have been hunting. This is a pretty solid twist. The man whose death inspired the hero's journey was the villain all along. That's good stuff. So why this makes him a deeply sympathetic character, but it also transforms him from a silent, menacing, and mysterious yokai into just a sad dad. While his line to Hero, Tadashi's death was his own mistake, is absolutely ice cold and a genuinely great villain moment. Much of his character post-reveal is spent being tragic. He's not a bad character, but as a twist villain, he felt like he had more potential than the story ultimately gave him. Okay, let's talk about a villain who is the polar opposite of tragic. A villain with no sad backstory, no sympathetic motivation, just pure, cold, hard greed. Commander Rourke.
I need y'all down that comment and tell me, do y'all know what type of villain he is? And do y'all even know the movie he's from? And actually tell me, should I watch this movie or should I not? I don't know. The movie probably good, but I don't know if I want to watch it.
From Atlantis, The Lost Empire. For the first half of this criminally underappreciated film, Commander Rourke is the guy you want in charge. He's the commanding officer of the expedition to find Atlantis, and he's the picture of competence. He's tough, he's pragmatic, he makes the hard decisions, and he seems to have the respect of his highly skilled, if eccentric crew. He's a military man, through and through, leading his team through giant robotic leviathans and swarms of fireflies. He seems tough but fair, exactly the kind of leader you'd follow into the unknown. The twist isn't a single gotcha moment, but a gradual, dawning horror. Once the crew finds Atlantis and discovers it's a living, breathing civilization, Rourke's true motives start to bleed through. He was never here for discovery. He was never here to honor Thaddeus Thatcher's legacy. He and his crew of mercenaries are here for one thing, the heart of Atlantis, the giant crystal that gives the city its power, which he plans to steal and sell to the higher with him, telling him that stealing the crystal, he is a ruthless, unapologetic capitalist and colonialist, seeing an entire culture as nothing more than a resource to be plundered for profit. His descent during the climax, from a calm commander to a wild-eyed, axe-swinging maniac after his plan starts to fall apart, is amazing to watch. And his death, being cut by a shard of the crystal he so desperately wanted, and slowly, painfully transforming into a crystal monster himself before being shattered by the propellers of a zeppelin. It's a gruesome, visually stunning, and perfectly fitting end for a man who saw everything as an object to be owned. He's a top-tier villain who deserves way more recognition. From a villain whose simple greed was terrifyingly effective, we now move to a villain whose complex motivation was just kind of confusing and lame. It's the real mastermind of Incredibles 2, Evelyn Diva. Evelyn is introduced as the brains behind
her film stage, the way she actually tried to take over the superhero world and Earth was kind of lame. Like, you try to mind control them, like, bro, that's lame. Like, so much villain already did mind control and trying to take over and trying to enslave the human race. Like, bro, it dull. Like, enslaving the human race is dull. Like, you don't got no other things that you can do to take over the world and enslave the human race. Like, it's kind of dull. It kind of old.
Her brother Winston's telecommunications empire. While Winston is the charismatic, intelligent winner, she seems like a great model. The twist is that she is the script. Let's just pause and think about that motivation for a second. Her father.
Wait a minute. You telling me that your father been killed because superhero were outlaw? So why you trying to make superhero illegal? If it illegal, that don't make no sense. So you got a mind meaning set. Cause you mad that superhero didn't come to rescue you and your father from a villain? But then superhero were illegal at that time? So how could a superhero come and save your father and you if it was illegal for them to even save you in the first place? I swear, your motivation of being a villain don't make no sense at all. I can see why you are hating instead of love.
Because he foolishly relied on supers instead of so her grand plan is to ruin the lives of all supers and permanently sabotage their the idea that we are becoming too weak, too reliant on mediated experiences, and that we crave.
Now I get it. What he's saying is we're relying on superheroes to do everything for us instead of relying on ourselves. Superheroes are only there to help us start like bait villains, start bait crime.
Superheroes to save us so we don't have to face challenges ourselves. That's a genuinely thought-provoking theme for a superhero movie, but the reveal that it was all just a cover for Evelyn's daddy issues completely cheapens it. On top of all that, the twist was incredibly predictable. Many viewers guessed that the new cynical tech character was the villain from the moment she was introduced. For a sequel to a movie with a villain as iconic as Syndrome, Evelyn and her flimsy motivation were a major disappointment. Alright, time for a villain who is beloved for entirely different reasons. He's not terrifying, he's not a mastermind, and for most of the movie, he's a complete joke. Michael Goob Yagooby, aka the bowler hat guy from Meet the Robinsons. For most of the film, the bowler hat guy is our antagonist, and he is hilariously bad at it. He's a lanky, mustache-twirling caricature of a villain who slinks around in a black cape and a bowler hat that is secretly a robotic spider minion named Doris. His evil plans include things like egging a building and trying to patrol. The diabolical Doris, the bowler hat, is the true mastermind. Lewis, working late on an invention, kept him up all night, causing him to fall asleep during his Little League game and miss the winning catch. That's it. That's his entire villain origin story. His team got mad at him, he got...
Bro, his whole entire origin story of becoming a villain is so stupid. Like, that gotta be the stupid origin story of any villain, right? When I look at Phineas Crocker, not Crocker, it's Denzel Crocker. No, his name, but the dude that Perry fight Infinity Fur, he just wants to see boy you. Most of his villain backstory is so stupid, right? And the crazy thing about it, when you watch the Infinity Fur movie, he finally actually did a big villain thing, but then it had to backfire on him. But throughout the whole series of Infinity Fur, bro, he is the dumbest villain ever. And he has the dumbest backstory ever.
If he had let failure, we see him get adopted, happy, and no longer the bowler hat guy. It's a unique, funny, and surprisingly heartwarming take on a villain, and it's absolutely brilliant. Okay, we've had our fun. Now we have to talk about Cars 2 and its villain, Sir Miles Axelrod. He is introduced as a progressive visionary. He's a former oil tycoon who, after getting lost in the jungle and supposedly discovering a miracle biofuel, sold his car and converted Earth into an electric the entire course to make a fake biofuel explode to manipulate the global energy market. It sounds less like a Pixar movie and more like a rejected Austin Powers script. His motivation is just boring old greed which can work, but here it's buried under nonsense. The reveal itself is also incredibly lame. It all hinges on Marta, who is inexplicably now a secret agent, realizing that a photo of the villain's engine shows bolts that are the same as the ones on the bomb strapped to him, and also remembering that Axelrod leaked oil back in Tokyo, proving he
killed certain cars and he tried to murder Lightning McQueen. Like, bro, why are you doing all this?
Activate the bomb with his voice, thus proving he's the bad guy. It's an unsatisfying conclusion to a messy, nonsensical plot. Axelrod's just a greedy car with a dumb plan, and for that, he's earned his spot as one of the most hated twist villains around. Let's cleanse the palate with another villain from the Toy Story franchise, a character who, like Lotso, is driven by the unique anxieties and tragedies that can only befall a toy. Stinky Pete from Toy Story 2. When Woody is stolen by the greedy toy collector Al, he's introduced to the rest of the Woody's Roundup gang, the energetic cowgirl Jessie, the faithful steed Bullseye, and the prospector. Pete is still mint in box, a collector's dream. He acts as the wise, grandfatherly elder of the group. He's calm, well-spoken, and seems to be the voice of reason when Woody and Jessie fight.
This is definitely like the third villain that had this dumbest plan of becoming a villain. It'd be the dumbest plan. Like, why are you even a villain? I see why you're hating. Because, like, if you love, you have so much reason and it's so much good plan. And, like, it'd be like step to step. And it'd be like so good to be a villain. Your plans don't even make sense. It doesn't. Like, it didn't make any sense why you even trapped Woody in the first place. Like, these villains need to start actually thinking about a reason and good things to become a villain, instead of just becoming a villain or the dumbest thing ever.
He breaks it up. He comforts Jessie and convinces Woody to listen to her sad story of being abandoned by her owner, Emily. He seems to be a mentor figure, guiding Woody towards what he presents as the only logical choice, going to a museum in Japan where they will be preserved and admired forever, safe from the heartbreak of being outgrown and abandoned by a child.
He don't even gotta do anything or get broken, ripped. All you gotta do is stay in the glass container and stay there forever and ever while people just come, watch, take pictures, and talk about how this toy is so rare.
But like the best Toy Story villains, Stinky Pete's evil is born from a place of real, toy-specific pain. He tells Woody he spent a lifetime on a dime store shelf watching every other toy get sold. He was never played with. He's bitter and resentful, especially towards space toys like Buzz Lightyear's cancellation of a little girl named Amy, who, as we see from her defaced Barbie doll, loves to draw on her toys. He's finally getting played with, the one thing he never experienced, but in the one way he would have feared the most. It's a perfect ending for a brilliantly conceived and tragically flawed villain. This next one is tricky. It's a character who is technically a twist villain, but whose twist completely redefines what villain even means in their movie. Takar from Moana. For the entire film, Takar is the big bad, the final boss. She is a colossal, terrifying demon of earth and fire. Her existence is the source of the blight that is slowly killing the world. She guards the island of Te Fiti, attacking anyone who dares to approach with volcanic fury. She's not really a character in the traditional sense. She's a raging monster of pure destruction. The goal of the movie is clear. Moana must get past this apocalyptic creature and restore the heart of Te Fiti to save everyone. and tells it's a wonderful, powerful message. The idea that the conflict isn't about defeating an enemy, but about healing a deep wound is deep. However, as a twist villain, it lacks the agency and character that make the others on this list so compelling. Takar has no motivation beyond mindless rage. She has no person to leave the family. He's the third-generation CEO of the company, and he inherited it from his father. He's been a mentor and a father figure to our hero, Sully, for his entire career. His only concern is the well-being of his company, which is facing a massive energy crisis because children are harder to scare these days. He's under help, and he delivers one of the all-time great villain lines. I'll kidnap 1,000 children before I let this company die. He genuinely believes he is doing what is necessary for the greater good. This kind of desperate villainy makes...
What you were doing is saving the company, but in reality, you were destroying the company instead of saving the company. Because you kept on kidnapping children to what? Save your own company? To save what you built? That's it? Like, you didn't care what will happen to kids? You didn't care if the kids, die from what you're doing, or got hurt, or what? You didn't care anything about that?
In one of the most well-written and beloved twist villains ever created.